Hi everybody, I think I've got everything together. I'm sorry I'm so late. I've changed things around in my office so everything's kind of different for me, and hopefully I'll remember where everything's at. I got my computer over here, which is usually over here, so I'm working a little backwards today, and that got me a little behind. I've got a designated area now for my videos, so I don't have to keep moving everything every time I want to do a video. So it will make it easier after this. It just got a little crazy. Have you ever heard the expression bit off more than you could chew? Well, that's me today. I'm doing an online class with a group of demonstrators today. It starts tonight. We did it last month and I had to cancel my live because we did it Thursday night through Saturday. Well, this time we're not starting until tonight, so that I can still do my live today. I think it'll be fun though, just a little, that's why I'm a little late, so sorry about that. So let me get my screen up. I just realized I didn't get my Facebook set up. Let me get that because I want to be able to see your comments. Try to do that before I come on, but forgot to do that. Make sure everything's working. Looks like it's on. There we go. Close that. Okay, I think we're ready. I don't know if you can tell this. My background looks a little different. I've got just a wall behind me. I'm going to put some shelves back here so you have something to look at sometimes. Hopefully we can do that one thing when we can start shopping again, that is. So I'm going to go ahead and go over a few things. I want to make sure you know this is exciting. We just found this out today, so I definitely want to show this to you. Let me see if I can get this to work. There we go. I am so happy. Happy dance. There are 5 bundles that I know a lot of you have been dying to get forever and ever and ever. It seemed like we were never going to get these dies in, but thankfully they're in now, and you can now start buying the Bonanza Buddies again. The bundle, and that includes the Bonanza dies. The stamp set has always been available, but the dies weren't because they were back ordered, major back orders. They had to take them off so you can even order them. So that includes the Bonanza dies. The Grace's Garden bundle, and that includes the garden, I can't remember the name, the Garden Gateway dies. Then the Honeybee bundle, which I'm real excited about because I've got a shaker card I've been dying to share with you guys. And I'll be able to do that now. And that includes the detailed bees dies. I didn't want to do a video for something that you couldn't buy and you'd be frustrated. And then there's also the Peaceful Moments bundle. Love this bundle. And that includes the Poppy Moments dies, the Painted Poppies bundle that includes the Painted Labels dies. And as you can see on the left and right, that also means the Birthday Bonanza Suite. If you want to buy the whole suite, everything in that suite is available now. So you can purchase that. Same with the Peaceful Poppy Suite bundle. So I want to make sure you knew all about that. And I lost my YouTube. But here, let me see if there's anybody on there for right now. Hi, Susan. Glad you're here. Watching from Wisconsin. Good. Okay, every time I switch to a different screen, my chat goes away. So I'll have to keep remembering to pop that up. And if you're on YouTube, if you have any questions, that's one thing I don't like about the live. So the live chat, if I miss them, and can't answer them during the video, then I can't go back and answer them later. I have to put them in the comments below in the video, just underneath the video. So you come back if you have a question and I wasn't able to answer it during the video, here, let me switch to me so you're not just staring at this screen. If you have a question and I don't see it on YouTube and I don't answer it, come back when the video's over. I will look at all the chats and then I'll have to pin the comment to the regular comments in the video, in the recorded version of the video. I hope that makes sense. For some reason, they don't let us go back and respond to any of the live chats if we missed them in writing. So make sure you check out the regular comments and I'll get those answered. I'll try my best to see them and on Facebook, it's super easy. If I missed your comment, I can hurry up and reply right underneath your comment, no problem. I wish YouTube was like that. Okay, and the reason I'm a little frazzled, I'm gonna hurry up and tell you about this real quick. Some of you probably already heard about it. And I mentioned it here a little bit ago, a group of demonstrators. It's my upline. All my sidelines are doing a online party. We did this last month. Now this is only for USA customers. We're not allowing demonstrators because we're just wanting to do this for our customers. And I have to say USA because per Stampin' Up rules, it has to be, I can only sell to people in the US, and same with the other demonstrators in the group. Now, if you're interested in this, you don't have to be there the whole time. You can come in and come out whenever you have time. The link to the group page is below in the video description. You can click on that. When you click join, you'll be asked 3 questions, and you have to answer the questions to get admitted into the group. Question number 1, your answer is Christy Fulk. Question number 2 is that code right there. And question number 3 asks if you're a demo. So that's our way of knowing that we know who you are, because we don't want some crazy people come in. I actually saw this morning some people that just opened up their account like 2 days ago and they didn't answer any of the questions, and that's usually a sign of a hacker trying to get in. So that's why we have to do those questions. But the group will stay up until next Saturday, April 25th. So you've got a whole week. If you missed some of the videos while we're live, you can go back and catch up with them. So what I just remembered, I did forget to type the answers below in the description, because when I get the screen, you're not going to have that available. As soon as the video's over, I'll get those typed in. But I do have the link to the video, to the Facebook group. Okay, I think I am ready to start stamping. I wanted to do a Mother's Day project. I know we've still got a little time, but I wanted you to have time to order things if you wanted to. And I'm using the super cute Best Dressed Suite. They changed the name of the stamp set is different, so I get mixed up every once in a while. So I'll go ahead and switch screens and show you everything that's in this bundle. It comes with the Dress to Impress stamp set and these really cool dies. And yes, I'm going to make a purse. If you saw the picture at the beginning of the video, you already saw it. But it makes it so you can make the purse. It also has dies to die cut some of the images. It's a really fun set, and it has, of course, the Happy Mother's Day greeting, but also has different ones so you can make cards throughout the year. But it's a really cute set. So that's the bundle, and you save 10% purchasing it as a bundle. And it's in the Spring Mini, the January to June Mini, but I'll be calling it Spring Mini. It's easier to say. I'm also using, let me hurry up and get the dies that I'm going to use. Of course, I'm going to be using this great big one to make my purse. And the neat thing with these make buckles for the straps. You need 4, but if you're doing your, have 2 straps for your purse, you want 1 buckle for each end. Well, these 2 dies will do all 4 at the same time, so you don't have to run it through the big shot a few times. I really like that. Okay, let me get my chat back up for YouTube again, because now I'm done on my screen. Hi, Rosie. I'm glad you're here from Florida. Oh, I bet it's nice and warm down there. We're not getting spring like we should be. So I'm going to put those buckles in here just to have all the dies together. You'll also need this die and this die here. And I'm going to use this big button. There are 4 buttons, but I'm going to use just one of the big ones. And these 2 that will die cut the flowers. As you can see, I'm using a lot of them. This is a strap for the purse. And I need the lipstick and that. So you can tell I only left 3 buttons and a shoe. So this is just so much fun. I had too much fun using all these. I'm also using a layering ovals dies. I'm using the largest scallop and then the 3rd largest regular oval. This is the largest, 2nd, 3rd. So this one right here. So I think those are all the dies. I think I'm going to put these bigger ones over here to the side because they're a little too big for my dish. There we go. Okay, so let's get started with the card, and it's going to be a gateway card. Saying it wrong, not gateway, gatefold. I'm thinking gateway because internet messed up again. I know I say that every day. Seems like every week, but our electricity went out and the gateway didn't want to come back on again, but we got it going. Okay, so you start with a regular piece of paper for a gatefold card. So this is an 8.5 by 5.5. I'm going to bring in my paper trimmer, and if you've got this at home, I know you probably are loving it like I am. It's actually better. I was disappointed when our old one had to retire. This one is even better. The blades are deeper. You don't have to push to make it cut your paper. I love it. Now, this is the cutting blade. I don't want to cut, so I'm going to bring that down here. This is a scoring blade, so that's what I'm going to use right now. So with an 8.5 inch slide along the top, I'm going to put this in, and I'm going to score it at 2 1/8. And just go over that a few times. And to make sure they're both exact same, I'm going to turn this all the way over, turn it around, and do 2 1/8 again. I just thought if we're going to make a card for our moms, we need to make a special fold one. So I don't know if you can see those score lines, but there's one here and one here. So it's really a real simple card to make. So what I'm going to do, whenever you do your score lines, inside the fold is actually the mountain that the score makes. So I turn around, so that's my mountain. You're going to fold this in half. Use your bone folder, get that nice crisp crease. There we go. And that is the gateway card. Isn't that simple? Let me bring that down on the screen so you can see it better. So that's the actual gateway. Oops, I did that wrong. Let me fix this. I thought, wait a minute, that looks awful long. I think that I did 2 1/4, not 2 1/8. That is exactly what I did. Okay, we'll get this fixed. Okay. See, even demonstrators make major mistakes. Okay, so I'm going to take this, fold it on the right score line this time. There we go. Now we've got the gatefold card. Okay, because they meet in the middle. The reason you have to do 2 1/8, this is a regular 4 1/4 inch width of a card. So half of 4 1/4 is 2 1/8. So that makes it so they come together. If you don't have a scoring blade, just try to get it right in the middle and have them both meet in the middle. So that's the way you can do it without that. But it is definitely easier with the scoring tool. So we've got that ready to go. I have a piece of petal pink. This is a 1 7/8 by 5 1/4. I've already embossed it with the tufted embossing folder. Love this folder. Isn't that, I think you can, oh yeah, you can see that in the light. I've got new lights here too, so I think you're gonna be able to see things a little better also. I'm happy with the improvements I made. It's a learning curve getting everything together again though. So isn't that neat? I love that. So what I'm gonna do now, since this is embossed, I'm gonna grab my multi-purpose glue, because I think this works a lot better than the snail when you're working with embossed images. And that 1 7/8 by 5 1/4 makes it so it fits perfectly on this right flap. Almost said left. You want to get that nice and centered. Hopefully I'm getting that centered. There we go. And with the glue, I just hold it down for a little bit. The one thing I do like about the glue, if you don't press down too hard, it has some give to it so you can move it around. But then once you push it down, it's stuck. I'm twisting it and it's not moving. So it's nice, really nice. I like that a lot. Then I got a piece of the Best Dressed Designer Series paper. This is the same size as the pink, 1 7/8 by 5 1/4. Isn't that pretty? I love this paper. And I'm going to go ahead and put it, since I've got my glue out, I could just use snail with this one, but actually it's easier to put glue on if you're holding the paper. So I'm going to do this. Always make sure I put glue around the edges, not right along the edges because you don't want the glue to pop out. The reason it's easier to do it when you're holding it, you actually feel how hard you've got you're putting the glue on, and it makes it so you don't make too thick of strings on there. Sometimes when you do it when it's on the table, you end up squirting out a lot more than you want to. Okay, so we've got that one down. Isn't that pretty? I love that. Oh, I've got some more people on YouTube. Hi guys, I'm glad you're here. Okay, didn't used to do YouTube and Facebook at the same time, so I've got 2 screens to go back and forth with. It's hard sometimes. And those of you that just joined me on YouTube, if you have a question and I miss it, I'm going to have to answer it in the regular comments section. I'll be able to see them, but in the live chat, I can't go back and respond to them on the live chat. So just go back to the video and you'll see the comments below and I'll answer your question there. And then on Facebook, of course, you just do it there, just do a regular comment like usual. Okay, we've got this there. Now I thought with all this perfume, the perfume bottle and the lipstick and everything, we needed to make a mirror. So what I did, this is what I used these 2 dies with, the 2 ovals. This one is my mirror frame, the scallop oval. This one is my mirror. So what I did, I took a piece of silver foil, it was 2 1/2 by 3 1/2, and die cut it with that regular oval. See how that shimmers? And I thought that can just pass for a mirror. And then with the largest scallop oval, that's my frame. I did it with the purple posy. I think I forgot to tell you this is purple posy too. We don't have an ink pad for this color, but we do have Stampin' Right marker and Stampin' Blends. So you can, I really like that purple a lot. Okay, I'm going to go ahead, since I've been using my glue, I might as well keep using it, but snail will definitely work on this. Just put it all over the back of my mirror. And we'll put it on right here in the middle. So now we've got a pretty oval mirror. It could be the mirror in the bathroom, mirror on your mom's vanity, anything like that. So there's that. Now I'm going to grab, let's go ahead and do the inside of the card. This is a 4 by 5 1/4 inch piece. And I decided I was going to put some designer paper on this too. So this is a 4 inch by 3 1/4. and it matches the paper. I'm just using the same paper because I want it to match the outside. Put some glue on it. I'm going to put it here along the bottom, but I'm going to bring it up just a little bit. I'm not going to go all the way to the bottom. I want a little bit of white showing. I just like that look better. Okay. Now I'm going to bring in this perfume bottle. Now this is a photopolymer set, which means it's clear. If you ever have stamped before, you get with red rubber or cling stamps, they have cushioning underneath the stamp. So this does not have any cushioning. So it really helps if you have a Stampin' Pierce mat. And I'm using some scrap paper here just so I don't stamp on this. You can get ink off of here, but it doesn't dry, and then you could get ink on your project. So always put some grid paper on top of that. So now that that is underneath my paper, this is going to stamp perfectly. It just needs that cushioning to get better support. So this is basic gray. And I'm going to stamp it. Hopefully I'm getting this right. That's one thing with videos, you're at an angle. I don't want to get my head in the way. Oh, perfect. I lucked out there. So I've got my perfume bottle there. Now, a neat thing with this set, it's got all these really neat watermark things. So they don't fit perfectly in, but it just gives you this really neat effect. So this, I'm taking the largest one and using my Petal Pink ink. And it doesn't have to be perfect. Actually, I think I want to go this way. I liked it, the wider version. Stick it there in the middle. And there you go. You've got that pink. Boy, the lighting is a lot better because it used to be the Petal Pink you could barely see during a live. So hope you can see that. Isn't that neat? I really like that. So it gives you really neat effect. Now, I'm like, okay, perfume bottles always shine. So I grabbed my clear Wink of Stella. Now this trick with this, you always want to store it so the brush tip is facing up. I know normally when you use markers, well, if it's a double tip marker, you always store them like this. If it's a pen, you usually store it like this so the ink stays at the bottom. With this, you actually want it to go with the brush tip up. You want to shake it up every time you use it. And then just start coloring. Hopefully, I'll get this closer to the camera here in just a minute, but it's giving it a really neat glitter effect. And if this one is starting to go dry on me, but if I squeeze it just a little bit, some more comes out. You don't want to squeeze too hard. I have squeezed this part is what I'm saying, squeeze. It just gushed everywhere. It was like there was a dry spot, or I mean a clump or something that got stuck. Ruined my project. So just do it very lightly. I'll put this up a little closer. I'm not sure you're going to be able to see the sparkle. That's the one bad thing about videos. It is so hard to show the sparkle, but it is glittering like crazy. It is so cool. Okay, so now we'll just put this on the inside of the card. So now you can write your greeting, put in whatever you want to. This time I'm going to use snail because I feel like I'm starting to get ink all over my not ink, glue on my fingers. So just put that, you don't have to cover it with a snail, just around the outside. And if you want to, you can put another one in the middle just for safe, to make sure it stays in good. And this is going to fit perfectly on the inside of the card. So now we've got the inside of the card all done. And you've got a little sparkle and designer paper on the inside. So like I said, this is for our moms. We've got to make it extra special. So we're going to close this back up again. So that's my base. So I'll put that to the side again. Now we're going to start decorating this window. I mean, not window, mirror. So I'm going to bring in, find my paper here. This one is a piece of Whisper White that's 4.5 by 2 3/4. I'm going to bring in that perfume bottle again. Keep my basic gray out because I'm going to be stamping a lot with this one right now. And I'm going to put that about down here. Okay. Then I need my lipstick. Now I'm going to leave a little space here to make sure I've got enough room for my squishy stamps. And you'll know what I mean by that here in a minute. And then I'm going to do my Happy Mother's Day, and I'm going to put it across here because I'm going to die cut this out too. There we go. So that's what you're going to do on that piece with the gray. I went ahead and I'm stamping the flowers. I'm putting flowers on this card too. So I got another piece because I didn't want to intersect with colors. And like I said, you'll understand that here in just a minute. So I'm going to do both flowers that are in this. Hi, Diana. I got a lot of people coming on. Cynthia, Kendra. Hi, Kendra. Wow, I haven't seen you forever. Okay, and Jennifer Cassidy, I hope you're still on. It says you're watching. That's an old high school friend. Okay, I'm going to stamp right here. And Cindy, I can't remember if I said hi to you. Thanks for coming. And this is all in my basic gray. Okay. Now, I am going to stamp. Okay, now I'm going to start coloring these in. Now, you could color these in with markers or Stampin' Dimensionals or anything like that. But I'm going to use, like I said, these squishy. Actually, they're watercolor, how do you say, wash kind of looks. So I'm going to use this big one again. You already saw how I did the perfume bottle. And if you didn't, if you're just coming on, the lives, once they're over, they post, the recordings post right afterwards, so you can go back and rewind. When it's live, you can't rewind. But if you watch the recording, you'll be able to see the beginning. So there, I used my big swishy to do my perfume. I know I'm not thinking of the right word, but that's what I'm thinking of now. Then this long one right here is perfect to do this lipstick. And I decided to use the yellow that's in the designer series paper that's in these centers, just have a little bit of a different color. Most of them, I'm using the Purple Posy, Old Olive, and Petal Pink, but I thought, oh, we'll have a little splash of color. So like I said, this does not fit perfectly. I found it does a little better if you put the rounded part on top, and just cover it up as much as you can without going over the lipstick at the top. There we go. See, I like how, I don't know if you can tell that, and I think you can. It's got different, okay, this is detailed stamp. I forgot what I wanted to say. There's a lighter version of the yellow here on the edge just by the way this stamp is made. I don't know how they do that, but it is so cool. So we've got that. Now I'm going to bring in a little swishy and use my Petal Pink. And I'm going to cover that up for the top. So I've got pink lipstick. Okay. Now we'll hurry up and color in these flowers. I'm going to hurry up and clean. Get my chamois out. Clean these two because I'm going to use these with different colors. Okay. This one I'm going to use the pink. You're going to use that long one with those flowers. You'll see here in a minute. This one will get both of these at the same time. So I'm covering up as much as I can without going over those leaves because I want those definitely to be green. So I'm going to move that. Hopefully you can see that. Here, I'm going to lose my chat here for a second, but I'll bring it right back up. See if I can get this a little closer here. I want you to be able to see how it's lined up before I move it. So there we go. So just covering those up, and it's bigger than the actual image. So there we go. Then I'm going to do it with this one, the other one. Now you can see why I didn't want to put all these, and now I'm just using the end. Now you can see why I separated these, because this is so much bigger than my flowers, and I'd be stamping pink on my yellow or pink on my perfume, and it just wouldn't look right. So that's why I did separate pieces. It's a lot easier to show than to explain. Then I'm going to grab my Old Olive. So I'm going to stamp, get this to cover those leaves as best as possible. And it's fine to have a little bit of white showing. That's actually the look we're going for. I don't know, can't remember if it's Impressionist art or what this is, but just a really cool effect. Now these are all going to be die cut. You're thinking right now they don't look that great, but they're going to be die cut, and that makes it look so much neater. And just so I didn't have to lug my die cutting machine over here because it's pretty big, I've already die cut all of these. So with the magic of television, here are all the pieces cut out. Oh, one thing before I get those out, the magic hasn't happened yet, sorry. I forgot to take my Winkostella again because I want to make this perfume bottle shiny again like I did on the inside. Boy, I wish you could see this in the video. It is so cool. If you've ever worked with Winkostella, you know what I'm talking about. It just puts a really neat glittery effect on this. So it's going to make it look more like a real jar of perfume. And then I'll go ahead and put a little bit here. And you notice I'm shaking it every once in a while because that helps the glitter that's inside it come out uniformly, not just in a big glob. If you wanted to do the whole lipstick thing, that's fine. I just chose to do just the lipstick part. Okay, now the magic of television. Here are all the pieces die cut. So this one, oh, actually, I forgot I was going to show you how these line up. It's hard to remember everything you want to do. So this lines up perfectly with this one. I want to show you how the dies work. And the neat thing about our dies, with this opening, the old dies, you would have a white gap around here and you'd have to center the gap all the way around it to make sure it was even. It was a hassle. This one, the inside just lines up perfectly with the die, and that's all you have to do. You don't have to try to center it. You just put it right where it needs to be. This one does the lipstick. Oops. There we go. And there. Well, my hands are shaking a little bit. I've been so rushing around so much, I think I'm like, little hyper. So that's how those go through the die cutting machine. And then your flowers, I want to give you a little tip on this. Let me find that piece. If you look closely, and actually it helps if you let it dry for a little bit. After the old olive dries a little bit, it actually lightens up just a little bit. So what you do, that way you can see the black leaves. When I first did this, I hurried up and die cut it as soon as I was done, and I had trouble seeing those leaves. It's probably gonna be hard for you to see on the video, but you just line all those up, make sure the leaves and the flower are within the opening. You do the same with this one. Make sure those leaves are lined up and everything else lines up pretty easy. So that's a trick on that one. Make sure you get those leaves lined up and then make sure the flowers lined up. So those all get through the die cutting machine. Then you come out with all of these beautiful pieces ready to go. Now, what I did, I'm gonna make sure I'm remembering everything I need. Yep, let's go ahead and put the mirror on the card. I forgot it. One time I was thinking it was gonna be easier to decorate the mirror first, but then I figured out it's easier to put the mirror on first. So with this being a gateway card, I don't want any adhesive on this end, this right side, because if we did that, then you wouldn't be able to open this up. It would be all glued together. So what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna come over, this is the center part here. I'm gonna go to make sure I'm doing this right, think backwards. We know we want it to be the left side. Actually, it doesn't matter with this because you can flip it over if you do the wrong side. But you wanna think backwards. Right now it's the left, so when you turn it over, it's the right side. So I want to just go a little bit to the right of that center scallop from the bottom and top, and then cover this up. Because I do not want, oops, actually I could go over a little more. There we go. Because I definitely don't want any glue to be hanging over this flap here. So I'm going to go ahead and close this and get it centered pretty close. It doesn't have to be perfect. You definitely want to get it straight. Hold this down for a few seconds. Now you've got your opening. So that's what it looks like when it's open. We've got your mirror over here. And then you close that up. Don't do what I just did. I think I had glue on my fingers and it got a little bit on the mirror, but that's okay. I'm going to be able to cover a lot of that up, so we'll be good. So if you want to use snail for that part, you definitely can. Yeah, that's exactly what I did. I got a little, I don't know if you can tell that, but a little smudge marks, that's glue. Okay, now I'm going to start decorating. And, oh, I forgot a piece of ribbon. This is our beautiful petal pink metallic edged ribbon. It's in the Spring Mini also. Love the, this is the rose, I always forget, rose gold metallic is what that is. So what I'm going to do, it's an 8-inch piece. I'm going to tie it into a bow. Whenever you start with a bow, you want to have if you're right-handed, you have the left side be the shorter part, because you're going to pinch it together, and all this is what you're going to be wrapping around. That's why you want it to be longer. Wrap it around your finger, just like you did when you learned how to tie your shoe. And then I always hold on to this center and kind of bring them down a little bit to make them smaller, and then tighten it up, and just keep playing around with it. Mine are never perfect the very first time I do it. I just keep playing with it till it looks pretty good. That's not too bad. Now I'm going to put it on my little perfume bottle, and the best thing to put it on with are glue dots. These glue dots are just about gone, thank goodness. I lost the little cardboard thing that normally goes in here, and it's a little harder to work with when you do that. But I don't want to waste them, so I want to use them all up. So that's how you do with glue dots. You don't want to pick up the glue dot with your finger, because it's going to just stick on your finger and you're not going to be able to get it on your paper. So actually put whatever you want to put the glue on, put it right on top of the glue dot when it's still on the paper backing. Then you can kind of bring it up. And now I've got that on my ribbon and not on me. And I'm going to put that right here to make that perfume bottle extra special. Bring in my scissors. and trim these at an angle. Forgot to bring a trash bag, so I'm going to trash all over the place. There we go. So that's ready to go. And I'm going to put that right about here. So I'm going to go ahead and use snail now, because I'm not putting anything on my embossed part. I'm going to put a little more on than I normally do, because I don't want this falling off that mirror. Without foil, sometimes that happens. So there we go. We've got that on there. Oh, I'm getting out of the screen. I'm sorry. If I ever do that, post and let me know. Oops, now I can get my, let me get this fixed again. I forgot I zeroed in on it a little bit. Now I'm running out of room to work. There we go. Maybe I'll go up one more. Get my chat back on YouTube. Sorry about that, guys, on YouTube. There we go. Thankfully, I didn't miss any comments. Okay, so that's, we've got that on there. Now I'm going to put this lipstick on if I can get a hold of it. Put some snail on the back of it and put it at an angle and overlap the perfume just a little bit. Now, I'm looking at my card that I made earlier, so I know right where I want to put it. When I originally did it, I laid everything down before I stuck it together. Let me get this close so we can see what's going on. And then this is going to go on like so. So I laid everything down to figure out where I wanted it first before I put it down. So that's a trick I want you to know too. Now this I'm going to put on with dimensionals. I wanted it popped up. Bring in my scraps. Yes, I use all my scraps. And while it's still attached to the backing, that's when I cut it off, cut them, and I also cut them through the paper backing too. That just makes it a lot easier to get a hold of these. So since these are kind of small, normally I just put two regular, one on each end, regular dimensionals, but since these are a little smaller, I'm going to go ahead and put one here right in the middle so it doesn't, oh, I did this when I made my card. We do not want one on this end because that'll make it so it stays shut too. So this is what you do when you mess that up. You just pull this off, and most of it comes off. The sticky part definitely comes off. Nobody's going to see that little thing right there. I'm not kidding. I did that yesterday. I can't believe I did it again. Now I'm going to bring in my Take Your Pick tool. You can peel these off with your fingers, but I have found out from other demonstrators, if you stick this in at an angle and then scoop it up, don't just bring it up straight up and down. You want to scoop it up. Then you go to the next one. And all of your pieces, oh, no, stick on my finger, are on your little paper piercing tool and not all over your house. Then you can put that over here and put it in your trash, like so. Love that. Because I have got, I don't know if you've worked with dimensionals, you probably have those paper backings all over the house. So I'm going to put this here. As you can see, I'm making sure that that middle one is going on the mirror and not hanging off. So now we can still open our card. Now we're going to put some flowers. I almost stopped there and I thought, no, we need some flowers there. So I'm going to grab this one. Now with this, I'm going to have it hanging over a little bit. So once again, we don't want any glue up here at the top. So what I'm having be the bottom, which is this side, is where I'm putting my glue. And then I'm going to stick it right about there. Same with this one. I'm going to lay this one down. I know it's here, so I don't, where the leaf is, that's the side I don't want any adhesive. So I'll just put it here on this side here. Make sure I have plenty on that side though, since I'm not putting it on the whole thing. I don't want it falling off. I'm going over that first flower a little bit. And now we're done. Isn't that pretty? I think any mom would love to get that. I had so much fun making this. I was glad I thought of that mirror. I thought, oh, that is so cool. So there we go. That's good for any mom. She'll love that. And you can still mail this too, since a lot of us can't see our moms right now because of what's going on with the virus. This is flat enough. You'll still be able to put it in the mail because I made sure I didn't use too many dimensionals. Now, I decided since this thing makes purses, if you want to make a little gift bag. Now this you won't be able to mail. Hi, Vivian. Glad you're here. So since this can be mailed, you might have to hold on to the purse, but I just had to make a purse. They are so cute. So I wanted to show you, oh, I forgot to bring my big piece of paper. I might be able to reach that. Nope, oh, wait a minute, here. I'll be right back, as long as I don't start dropping things. Got it in reach. Oops, I almost dropped a lamp. Hold on. There we go. Normally I don't do this, but I wanted you to see what it was like. Okay, there we go. This is a big piece of petal pink. It's a, let's see, 5 3/4 by 8 1/2, I think is what it is. or 11, I mean, sorry. It is 5¼ by 11. Let me do it this way so you can see the whole thing. That makes it so you can die cut the big die twice because you need 2 of these. So I just put it on, oops, like this, die cut it, and put it on here and die cut it. So that gives you your 2. Get that out of the way. Thankfully, it didn't drop anything like I thought I was going to there for a second. Then you take a piece of pink. You can use scraps. It can also be, I think I wrote this down. I didn't. I think it's like 6¼ by 2. Oh, actually I did. I'm looking at the wrong thing. I'm looking at my card dimensions. Yeah, 6¼ by 1¼ will get you 2 of these. So you have to die cut these twice to get your straps. So here are my straps. Here are the 2 pieces of my purse. And then we will be embossing this with that tufted, just like we did with the card, because I want it to match the card really good. So let's go ahead and start making this first, and then I'll bring out all the other little pieces you have to cut out. Now the trick with embossing these pieces, you need to burnish, is what it's called, all of the score lines. And burnishing just means you find where the score line is. Now here's the trick you want to make sure. You see how they're stitching? Hopefully you can see that. There are little stitch marks here. You don't want to fold on those stitch marks. So you're going to make sure that you get on that score line, and that's what I'm doing. Bring in your bone folder, and it's easier to do. I wouldn't do this little thing here until the very last. So I'm going to do that one. I'm going to do all of these easier ones. Let me look at my, oh, Rosie, thanks. I'm glad you like that card. Sometimes I forget, like I said, to look at all of my screens. Okay, so I've got that one done. This is another easy one to do. Once again, I want to make sure I get that score line and not the stitched. Get that burnished. And, oh, and this little one. I knew there was one more easy one to do. Now, to do the center one, this one is actually going to fold in. So the center one, you just kind of hold on to it a little bit. You got to play around with it because this has a little triangle. You don't want to put a fold in the middle of that triangle. So I'm just kind of pinching it a little bit. Then I'm going to about right where the top of that triangle is, and then burnishing it that way. And when you do that, it almost makes it so this does the same thing, because this is going to be going in too. And it almost makes it fold naturally that way. So you're going to do all of that. So I'll put that a little closer so you can see it. And you do that with both pieces. Then when you're all done doing that, you put it in your, embossing folder, which I thought sure I brought over here. Oh my goodness. That one I really needed to show you. Oh, I see it. Hold on a minute. Oh, good. I could reach it. I wasn't sure. Because this is, you definitely want to see how this goes in the folder. It doesn't matter if you get this embossed just a little bit. The reason we did all the folding first, because once you emboss this, you're not going to be able to find those score lines again. If you fold them all ahead of time, it's super easy for it to fold back into place. So what I did, this little score line here, I don't know if you can see, right here on the edge, there's no embossing. So you want to make sure that the image, because you can see the image, is right along that score line. So that's how it's going to go in the folder, with that bottom sticking out a little bit. And then you put it in fold first. Now this is our old version. So you only need one cutting pad when you've got the old Sizzix version. But if you buy them now with the Stampin' Up version now, you will have to use that blue embossing plate that we have that's in the mini. So at the sandwich, you just have your regular sandwich, but you only need one standard cutting pad because this is one of our big, thick 3D ones. So once you do both of those like that, another magic, here they are, all done, ready to go. And because I burnished them ahead of time, look, they're folding right up again. No problem whatsoever. I have made the mistake of embossing a piece after I die cut it and then forgetting to do all that. And it is very important to die cut before you emboss. Because if I were to dry emboss all this and then put it through to die cut it, it'll smash all the embossing. Hi, Cindy. Glad you're here. So we've got all of this. So these are my 2 pieces. Now we're going to put this together. Okay, I'm going to get this out of the way because I don't want any glue on that. I had meant to bring in my silicone mat. Forgot that too. My goodness, I thought I was doing good. Okay, except for being late, of course. So now this little strip here, I want to put glue on. You can use tear and tape too. The tear and tape is about the exact same width of this. So if you end up going over, I think it's just easier with the glue because with it being about the same width, maybe even a little thicker, you'll have some sticky stuff sticking out and you don't want that. So I'm putting very light version. I don't know if you can tell that in the light, but I've got glue here. Then you're going to take this, where this score line is, you want to line up with the score line here, and this with the edge of the tab. And everything, and the edge of this lines up with that score line. And there you go. So that's how that goes together, like that. Then we're going to put this all together here. So I'm going to put glue on this tab again, and you do put it on the front because this is going to get tucked underneath. That's why I'm not putting it on the back. You want to put it on the front. So think a little opposite of what you normally do. Normally you want to put glue on the back of a project. This one, it actually goes on the front on the tab. Okay. Bring this around. This one's a little harder to do, but not too bad. Actually, if you fold this, it's a little easier. Get that folded down again. Bring this up so you can see it. I want to line that top up and this edge with that score line. Then when you've got it all done, just squeeze it all together. Now you've got that ready to go. See how that folds nicely? Okay, now these little tabs here, just fold those. Let me just get this back in the screen a little better. Sometimes it's hard to remember I'm working in front of a screen. Put these little tabs here. Thanks, Rosie. So here's, let's see. Oh, good. I'm glad you like me doing the explaining. I like to do that because I've learned these along the way, and I don't want you to make the mistakes I've made. Now you're going to push this down here. And this one, I'm just going to put a little bit of glue here on the edge. It doesn't have to be, I don't want to cover the whole thing. Just enough right there. Bring this down. Okay. And the way, sometimes what I'll do, I'll hold this and take my bone folder. Once I have it lined up, it's not wanting to glue for me. There we go. I'm going to hold it down for a little bit. That's one thing with the glue, you want it to soak in. Then you can take your bone folder and kind of go across here, put some pressure on it. There we go. Now it's good and glued together. Now, you can make two different versions. My first one, I was actually wanting to do a purse, but I actually made it into a tote. But, oh, I'm getting ahead of myself. I also stamped another set of the double flowers, which you've already seen me how to do that. And if you came in late, you can rewind it when the recording pops up right after the live's over. But I wanted another one of these flowers. I die cut 4 of these buckles, and that was from these dies, ones I showed you at the beginning. So these 2 dies you run through and you get 4 buckles total, which is what I need. So that's with the silver foil. And then this large button is the one that did my little button here. And then last but not least, this die cut this out of a scrap piece of that same paper because, like I said, I'm going to keep going up too high. That coordinates perfectly with the card. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to go ahead and glue this on. Actually, I probably should have done this before I started putting the purse together. But I want to show you, this will show you if you forget like I just did, you can still put this on even after you put the purse together. It's really easy. Just push it down, put your finger inside underneath it so you can put some strength underneath that. So there we go, we've got that on there. Then we've got our little button. This one I think is actually easier to put on with a glue dot. So I'm going to grab a glue dot. I'm going to put this closer, I don't know if you can see that, all the detail on this button. It's got some embossing, so it's got like a little rim around it. Boy, it's hard to show when it's silver. There, that kind of shows a little better. You can kind of see the little rim on there. So it really looks like a button. I'm going to put that right there. Okay. And then my little flower, I want this to pop up a little bit, so I'm going to put that on with dimensionals. So let's get some of these cut off again. Oh, I thought I had enough cut off earlier, but I didn't. I just need 2 of these. So I'll put one here, put one there. That way it doesn't wobble on me. Oops. Got to do my little trick. Use my Stampin' Piercer, scoop it up so I don't have papers all over the place. Throw it in my trash. That way it's going to be in my trash and not my floor. And I'm going to put this right there. So now we've got the front all done. Then the trick with these, and these it is easier to put on once it's put together. That's at least I find. You can play around with it and see what you think is best. But I'm going to take this strip, I'm going to thread one of these buckles on. So you go from the bottom up and thread it through just like a regular buckle. There you go. So now we've got that buckle on there. And I will be putting one on this end, but I found, oops, actually, I need to turn this around. There is a right side and a wrong side. This side you can barely see the stitching, and this side you can see the stitching a lot better. Like I said, it's really hard to tell in the video. So you just pop this on. Okay. Then you turn it over. Once again, I think it's a little easier to use glue, but you can use glue dots, whatever you want to do, because this makes it so it will move around for me until I get it right where I want it. Like I said, glue is a little giving, and I'm also making sure that I put a little bit on that little strip of the buckle. Now I can move that up a little bit where I want it. And it's going to go right here. I want the buckle to go within the, okay, let me show you this. This little thing here is the same width as the strap. And I want the buckle to be on the purse completely. I don't want it hanging off the top. So there we go. Pinch that together, and you've got that there. Okay, now to make it a tote, I did it like this on each end. So it's like that. Or that could be a handbag too. It wouldn't have to be a tote. But if you want it, this is the other way you can do the purse. You take this, kind of bring it around, and it can go on like this. So I'm going to grab the buckle for the other end. I think it's easier to do them separately because I've done it before. I've had them both on there. By the time I get this one done, this buckle is flown away and I can't find it anywhere. I'm sure some of you can relate to losing little die cuts. I do it all the time. So I've got my glue on there again. Twist this around. And you're twisting it so you're still having the good side, over here. That way the part that's not stitched too much is on the back, and both of these ends have the same stitching. And that gives you that neat handle look. Okay, now we'll do that on the other side again. So we'll do one more, and then we are going to be done with this. Put that buckle on, put the glue on. See if I can go a little faster now. Make sure you get that centered. I love how this is the same width as the strap. That way it's not hanging over here and you're not getting glue sticking out. If it was wider, then that would be a problem. Okay, now we'll get this buckle on. Got that threaded on. We'll put a little glue on here before I twist it around. It's a lot easier to do this before you twist it. Let me do this slowly like this. Put it in the same spot. Hold it down for a few seconds. Only takes a few seconds. You don't have to hold it down for a real long time. And that gives you, isn't that pretty? Now, one thing I did forget to show you, and this worked out fine with this, but I needed it on this. Here's the tote version. So I'm going to show you the tote version. See how nice and smooth these are? The way you do that is you take your bone folder. Here, let me take a piece of paper here, make it an impromptu. This is what I cut my straps on with. Because this ended up folding on me. I'm like, ooh, I forgot to do that step. I don't know if you can see, but it's not a nice soft curve like this is. The way to get that, you take your paper and your bone folder. It's like doing that ribbon that you can curl with your scissors. Pretend like these are your scissors. This is your ribbon. You take your thumb and you just go across it. And it breaks the fibers of the paper. See, I'm getting that nice curve. So you just go along the whole width of it. And that gives you the nice curve that you need without being nice and smooth. So that's the trick to do those and make that a little nice, make them nice and smooth. So that's it, guys. So you could put a nice little treat in here. Gift card would fit in here if you want to give your mom a gift card. Really cute idea. I love this purse. I'm so glad Stampin' Up came out with this die because it is so fun. Now, one thing you can make with this too, you can also make this into a backpack. I haven't done that yet. I'll have to make a video on YouTube for that. I might do that as a live. We'll see. But if you like this video and you like any of the, want to see my others, I've got a ton on my YouTube channel. you can just subscribe to that. And I've got a link to those who are on Facebook. I've got a link to that in the description if you want to come over to my YouTube channel. But those of you on YouTube, you're already there, and you can subscribe in the bottom right corner, and make sure you click on that little bell. And I have found out with the notifications, make sure that you click the arrow next to the, I guess there are different things you can say. Just for a few of the videos, you'll get notified. If you want notified for all, make sure you click all. I'm gonna have to make a little video on that just so you can see how you do that, but it's pretty simple. So I hope you enjoyed today's video. Now I'm gonna have to get ready for my lives that I'm doing for this online class I'm doing. And if you missed me talking about that, I talked about that at the beginning of the video. So make sure when the recording pops up as soon as we're done that you come back and watch that. Here, I'll come back to me now. But I hope you enjoyed that. That was a lot of fun making. Got a little stressful when I was trying to get everything together, but that was a lot of fun putting those together. So I hope you enjoyed that. And I will be back again next Friday at 3 o'clock at Eastern time. I try to do these every single week. Sometimes I have to cancel if something comes up, but normally I'm here every Friday. So I hope you have a great weekend, guys. Bye.